What's up, people, and welcome back to Central City Barbecue. I'm Pin Master James Cruz, and this week's video, I've got something very unique for you. You've heard of brisket burn-ins, you've heard of pork belly burn-ins, you may have even heard of sweet potato burn-ins, Jason Pettis, or even smoked sausage burn-ins, Mark Lambert. I've got beef belly burn-ins, and these things are going to be phenomenal. I'll be seasoning them up with my buddy Cam Day's Elk Creek AP right here. Elk Creek makes some phenomenal products, and this product in particular, you can put on just about everything. Well, it's a great base rub, or even a standalone rub by itself. I'll be adding a little bit of coarse black pepper to it. And we're going to be smoking them on the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560 with some B&B post oak wood chunks. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do is cut these things into a manageable size bite. Inch, inch and a half. It really depends on what size bite you want. Grab your knife. I'm going to cut nice, even square cuts, alright? Make sure your knife goes all the way through. Cut these things up. Alright, now that we've got them all cut up, it's time to season them up. And this is when I'm going to grab some of this AP. And what I want to do is actually get a nice even coat all the way around. And at this point, you can start flipping them around. Okay? We get them all covered on all sides. Flip them around a little bit. And right after we do this, we're going to hit them with a little bit of black pepper. Okay? It's going to add a nice balance to it. I like a little black pepper on beef. So at this point, let's just toss them around a little bit. Okay. Let's get them all coated, put it up really nice, and that's what you're looking at right there. Now let's get them with a little black pepper over the top. Okay. Seems like it's a mess, but it's not that bad. Let's get a little bit more black pepper. There we go. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do after that, and I'm a fan of these cooling racks. Let's place them on the cooling rack. Just place them even. They're going to shrink a little bit, so don't worry about them actually touching right now. Because once they shrink up, you'll have a little space in between. You'll have some air that passes through, getting smoke all the way around them. One last dusting of seasoning. A little more black pepper over the top. Put that Masterbuilt to work now. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to put these on the rack about halfway up, and you see that I have an aluminum pan down here. I'm keeping that down there because I want to catch those drippings. The last thing I want is to catch a fire, and I'm going to use those drippings later on when I go to pan these things up, but let's cook this thing at 275. And now that we've got the smoker loaded, we're going to add a handful of post oak wood chunks from B&B charcoal. Alright guys, it's 1 hour in, and these things are actually starting to take on some good color now. There's that post oak. It's actually doing a nice job on some of these things. Look at this. Actually, what I might do is some of these bigger ones I might actually cut in half because I didn't realize how tall these things would be after I cut some. But we cut them, put them back on, and we'll come back in about an hour. Now that's a much better size. I think we're working with something now. Alright guys, it's been 2 hours, and dude, the smell coming out of this Masterbuilt is absolutely amazing. It smells phenomenal. So look, they got great color on them. The bark is really starting to set. I'm going to take a quick temp. See if you guys can see that. 187 there. Let's try this one out. 180. But let me get to about hit fat on that one. We're getting close. So look, what I want to try to get to is, you see that right there? 180. Let's get to about 195. So I'm going to let me go about another 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes, and then we're going to pan them up, put them back on. It's been about 2.5 hours now, and these things have to be getting ready for wrapping. So we're looking at about a 195 internal temp. Okay, so we're looking at 193, 94, I'll take that. 94 there. That's a big boy, so we're gonna let that one drop a little bit. You see that? Let's take these things off. That's another big one. Let's take them off and let's wrap them up, and we'll get them back on the smoker. Well, they hit an average of about 195 internal temperature. I think at that point, the fat is really starting to render down. They've got great bark on them, plenty of smoke. These things smell phenomenal. So what I'm going to do now is actually just put them in this pan. They rendered off some of their own OSU and a little bit of fat. And we're going to put them in here, okay? And let them go about another 30 minutes or so. And what I'm looking for at that point is I want them to be probe tender to where they're just falling apart. You can smash them with your tongue. So let's do it. Let's toss these around in the RSU real quick, okay? Oh man, these things look so amazing. get them all in here. Try to give them a single layer. All right. The foil over the top. And we're gonna get back on the smoker. It's been about 35 minutes. I'm gonna show you what I'm actually looking for. Okay. When I'm looking for these things right here, I want them to be probe tender. See this right here? I was kind of gliding through. Stick a little bit. And another thing too is I'm looking to feel them. All right. I want them to get kind of squishy. And I believe they're there. So let's do this. Let's be back at the table. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna finish these guys off real quick. Now that we're actually done the cooking part, these things are soft and tender. You saw how that probe just went right through them and they're kind of gushy. But take a look at these things. They got great color, good bark all the way around them. I'm pretty pleased with the way they came out. So now I'm gonna show you how I wanna finish them up real quick. So I'm gonna take a few of them, okay? I'm gonna toss them around in their juices here. I'm gonna put them back on this rack. Like I'm not gonna spend all day straighten them up perfect. All right, but this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put them back on here because I want them to kind of just the liquid part really just kind of tighten up on the end. Another thing too, I wasn't gonna do this. I was just gonna go just straight up, throw up smoke, and go with a savory bite. Then I started thinking about it. I looked under my magical YouTube table here and realized I got a jar of this raspberry chipotle by Blues Hog. So I'm gonna toss a few of them in there. Let's check it out. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pour a little bit in there. Not much, okay? Let's put a few in there. Toss these around a little bit. And all I want to do is get a nice coating because these things are hot. The sauce is a little thick, but since these things are hot, they kind of melt in that sauce a little bit. I'm gonna get these guys back on the rack and back in the smoke. I want the sauce to tighten up a little bit. All right, but watch this. Put these guys on here. I want you to check this out right before I put it on the smoker, okay? Well, that didn't take long at all. It was a little over 3 hours, and look, I can't wait to try one of these things. One with the just the dry rub, more of a savory flavor, and the other one with a little raspberry chipotle from Blues Hog. Let's try them out. I mean, look at this thing. You can kind of squish it. Holy crap. Wow. Dude, that is freaking amazing. Let's try this out. Let's try the savory one now. It is so soft, but yet savory. A lot of beef flavor. Man. These are so easy to make. You guys can make these any game day or so. But 3 hours, I mean, really. That is phenomenal. One of the best burn-in bites of any type I've ever had. I'm never speechless, but that's close to it. That is one of the single best bites I've ever had, and I am not lying. That was amazing. All right, so let's just go back over what we did here. I had a beef belly, otherwise known as maybe a navel by some people. I cut it down in half because, and by the way, that size was only half of it. The other half, I've got something planned for a later video. So anyway, I cut it down, and within that, I cut it about 1.5 inch cubes. I learned something during this video. Got to cut those in half as well because that belly is kind of tall. I rubbed them with some of the Elk Creek AP. Black label AP, I should say. This stuff is so good. It's got salt, garlic, onion, pepper. It's a well-balanced rub with a little bit of coarse black pepper over the top of it. Put it on the smoker at 275. That Masterbuilt was just humming along with some B&B hickory lump and the post oak wood chunks. So it gives such a smooth, clean smoke flavor. After about 2.5 hours or so, I was temping at, you know, roughly around 195 or so. Put it in a pan, wrapped it up, let it go another 30 minutes. Took it off. I glazed some last minute, call it game time decision. The others I left alone, put it back on, let it tighten up a little bit. Wow, it's so good, so easy to do too. You guys could do this on any weeknight or even on a weekend. Like I said, it's game days, parties, whatever you want. I mean, again, look, I had a great time today. Thank you guys for following us. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Like this video, comment below, you know, give me some suggestions. If you guys have cooked these before, dude, let me know. I would love to hear about your store cooking these as well. By the way, you notice We got brand new hats in stock. You can get one of these at centralcitybarbecue.com. We'll ship it out to you if you're locally. Come by, pick one up. We got multiple colors. It's one of my favorite hats to wear. And also, my boys at Zapron, I got the Kansas Limited Black Edition. That's clean looking, isn't it? Anyway, see you guys next week.